Hello everyone, this is RC0538, and I'm bringing you a video on my Death Row non-Soviet Warsaw Pact deck. Now, I personally like taking the non-Soviet Warsaw Pact onto this map. It can be extremely effective, and you can do a heck of a lot of damage with it. I've geared it entirely towards that position, entirely. Into taking that town, and we'll see why in a bit. So, starting off with logistics, we just have a command jeep, just standard command jeep. Not going to talk on it really. MI8. I like the MI8 logistics. So they have good strength. They carry decent supplies, and they're pretty speedy. They're at least. Let me put it this way. At least they're not as slow as the MI4. We got a Koloss, and forward operating base. So yeah, that's our logistics section. Two groups of elite commandosi here. Very effective. Awesome units. They're just so survivable on the one in the first place with 15 guys. And I can't tell, and a lot of times, because they do have that extra size, they will be more effective. It means they won't die as much, and they won't be, they just won't die. They're just harder to kill in every way. So yeah, we have the AKS-74U, very effective on very high rate of fire with it. Yeah, the RPG-16D isn't bad, but it does have low AP power, which is my biggest complaint, is that they don't carry... They don't say have like 20 armor penetration. If they had that, then these guys would just be, they'd be set in my book, but they don't have that, which is sad. But they do, and they also carry the RPK for, their CQC, their squad automatic weapon. But yeah, very effective units, would highly recommend them. Awesome in anti-infantry role. Moving on, we have the Grom. The Grom are interesting units. They're very nice. They have 26-25 meter range, which is, I believe, the most range on a man pad that Red 4 has. I know that I think the Swedes have a 2800 meter range, and I know the Mistral has 26-25 meter range. But yeah, this is the most range you're going to get out of a Red 4 man pad. Also has good accuracy. HE power could be better, but it's still good. Next we have the Concourse M. On this map especially, it's important that you have ATGM infantry. So yeah, it has 50% accuracy, good AP power, and they carry an assault rifle. Standard, just standard infantry for that role. Line infantry wise, we have a group of Motorized 90. Now the Motorized 90 for this STG 941, but they have a unique stat about them, and that's that they have 55% accuracy. Instead of normal shock troop, which only has, I believe, 45. Sadly, I can't find them because I think they're all airborne. In this specialization, anyways, I can't find like Spatomas or Visit Kari, which have that stat. But anyways, you're gonna have to take my word on it. But these guys do have that extra accuracy, which makes them exceptionally lethal. Actually, I think I can just compare these guys. Yeah, standard shock troops, 45% accuracy. Motorized 90, 55% accuracy. So yeah, very, very effective. Those awesome LSTR-40s, these are basically the better version of Spetsnaz in my opinion. The SCG 943. Wildly effective assault rifle. 60% accuracy. Very high, normal standard HE power. Extremely high rate of fire though. Same rate of fire as the AKS-74U, but they do so with 60% accuracy and 40% on the move, which makes them just so lethal. It's not even funny. They will wipe infantry squads. Like I would usually say, the best way to counter something like this would be with like a napalm infantry, like some of these Saperzis, or Sturmpionera, something like that. But unless they're engaging if they're engaging at rifle range, if they're engaging at the same range, the LSCRs will probably win there. I mean, they're just so effective with that. Now, it can be a counter to use some of that napalm infantry, or the engineer units, but dang, the LSTRs, they're going to give you a run for your money. And that they're also extremely difficult to counter. Because SCG 943, because keep in mind, first off, keep in mind, Wargame works on a system of counters. If you bring in a tank, I'm going to bring in my ATGM infantry. If you bring in a helicopter, I'm going to use my Groms, or I'm going to use the FJB or LSTRs. So yeah, that's kind of how that works. But the LSTRs are very difficult to counter because they do have an AA. They carry an AA launcher. They can do a lot of damage with that. 55% they're 55% accurate with it too, and that skyrockets when you consider that they're at elite veterancy. The HE power could be better, but they carry 4 missiles. These guys can down Apaches. They can down command units, whatever you need them to do. Now, and then they carry the Vampire. Oh my gosh, dang! They're carrying the Vampire, which means that they can basically kill whatever you need them to kill. I mean, they will kill Leopard 2A5s. They will kill M1A2s. They will kill anything you need them to. So, holy crap, are these guys effective? And, you know, I just talked about the assault rifle, how lethal that is against infantry. So, yeah, don't underestimate these guys. Treat them with the highest caution. And then we have the lesser version of them, and by the lesser version, I mean the not as good, but still pretty awesome version. They don't have that same rate of fire that the STG 943 has with the AK-74N. However, they still have that great accuracy and good stable firing on the move, so they're still very effective. Not as effective when it comes to their law, because it only has 17 armor penetration and not the best accuracy. But it's still a good unit. It's still a very solid law. And the Strela 3, which, once again, isn't the best, but it's still okay. So yeah, I mean, these guys, just, you can use these guys in a variety of roles. I'm just calling them the normal MI8T. If you wanted some extreme firepower, but keep in mind it also makes it, what, 80 points? Yeah, so just watch out for that. I'm bringing in the MI8T because this is only 50 points. So yeah. The best use for both of these can be behind the lines or working as an all-round unit in, maybe not inside of towns. These wouldn't be my first choice inside of a town because I have the Commandoses. However, like in forests and such, these are just so exceptionally lethal, both of these. Next, moving on to support. For long-range AA, we have the NIWA SC. Now, the NIWA is very high range against aircraft, carries 4 missiles, it's very accurate, but very mobile because it comes on a wheeled platform. So yeah, watch out for this unit. Very effective. Not Patriot effective, but still extremely effective. I'm going to continue with AA for a bit, and we'll go back to the artillery. Next we have the Strop 2. I've shot down Rafales with this thing, and that's not even the role they were meant for. The role they're meant for is a dedicated anti-helicopter unit. So yeah, very effective. They're not radar guided, so they're very effective because of that. So you can really do a lot of damage to unsuspecting enemy helicopters. You know, the enemy has seat-ups, they're like, okay, you know, they don't have any AA that's going to shoot at me now. Or at least, you know, hasn't been able to. Surprise, drop 2, shoot down the Apache longbow. Yep. I've done that before with the drop 2. It's just so good. It's very mobile, great at supporting your units. Next, the OSA. Now this is radar guided, but it's very effective because it's cheap and very maneuverable. So you can have this go off-road and support your infantry with anti-aircraft support. Because, like, your Groms are going to be very effective at killing, say, you know, your Groms are going to be effective at killing off, you know, your helicopters at long range. These will kill off aircraft at a decent range, and can do damage against helicopters with 7 HE power. So that's going to put out enemy aircraft out of action for a while. And I found they fire pretty quickly too. If they miss, they will reacquire the target very quickly. So I like the OSAs. Now, if you did want to go for something, maybe take a bit less of them, but something higher quality, you could take the OSA AKM. And, yeah, basically just buffs those stats. So they have 2,800 meter range against helicopters, and an extra 400 meter range against aircraft. Not too shabby, if you ask me. And they also get a bit of an accuracy boost. So, yeah. Oh, no, artillery. Long-range artillery without Ondava. Exceptional. This is probably my favorite artillery unit in the entire game because it carries so many rounds. It's so fast. This is good HE damage, great dispersion, fires quickly. Nothing not to like about the Ondava. So yeah, I love this unit. It's awesome at sniping enemy units. And then we have the Pram, just for laying down, supporting fire. I think it's just two, we just have two options. Yeah, it's either the Pram or it's the Tunsha, which is an MTLB. And so yeah, I mean, you get two options here. You know, they're not. It's not that one's bad or anything, but I usually go with the Pram, and I take the Pram basically just because it has that little bit of extra. Let me compare it. It has that little bit of extra armor, so it may be able to take an extra hit or two. And it also carries 21 more rounds of, 21 more 120 millimeter rounds. So yeah, this is small, so it's harder to hit, but it usually won't come under direct fire and just be fired at indirectly by counter battery. So yeah, both have the same autonomy, and they're both amphibious. So yeah, the Pram is just my choice every time. Tanks, not as many tanks as I usually would take. First we have the T-55 AM2 Dyna. Now this is an upgrade of the T-55 AM2B. But the Dyna 1 carries the Arcan missile instead of the Bastion. And that's basically, I believe, the only upgrade, and that this carries significantly more armor, but it gets the Arcan, and I would take it, if that was the only thing, I would just take it for the Arcan, because this is awesome at sniping enemy tanks at afar. Say your teammate has some super heavies, but he wants some help, just set one or two of these up behind them, and have them just shoot at the enemy's tanks from afar. And you can kill off, some of them, or at least do some more damage at a great distance with that capability. And then we have the Merida. Merida is very effective. This is not to say a main battle tank, but it's a great upgrade of the T-55. It's awesome. I like the Merida. The rate of fire could be better at only 7, but it's not too bad. The ground range is great. Notice none of the other... I don't think any of our other options give us this range. Yeah, none of our other tanks have a 2275 meter range, so that's why the Merida's in here as well. Stabilizer is terrible, so yeah, you're really gonna have to fire this. You're just really gonna have to fire this only on stable platforms, but still a good unit. Still a good unit. Doesn't have as much armor as the Dyna does, but it's still a very effective T-55. I like it. Recon. Have some Specialny Jernotkeys. I'm bringing these guys, at least this, have one group coming in an MI-17, gonna use these guys as, say, behind the lines, recon to work with, say, my FJB-40s. And yeah, they're just very effective units in that regard. And then I have the Specialny Jernotke 90s coming in an OT-64A in order to function in towns, because they do have this, the RPG-26 is really the reason I'm bringing it in, I guess. Because it has a 20 rounds a minute rate of fire, so it will engage targets very rapidly, and in a town, that's a great tool to have. Being able to engage enemy forces as they appear with this is exceptional, and it's a great capability to have. Then we have the Formosas. Team up the Formosas with the Commandosi. Because and then you just have a Polish pain train. That's going to be rolling in. Going to do a ton of damage to them. They have the SMG is very effective. High rate of fire, just like the AK-74. But the SMG will do better just the closer it, in-town fighting. I'm not sure how that specifically works, but it's just better. It does the Formosa do not have any anti-tank capability, which is bad. But what they do have is extreme anti-infantry capability, and that's one of the best things about them. And then they both carry the same RBK, but team these guys up and you will be clearing towns very quickly. Next, we have just the AUF, the BRM1. The BRM1. Very nice, exceptional optics vehicle. Just get one of these, park it, bit ways away. You can do some damage with it. Look at the Mi-2RO. Exceptional optics helicopter, so that's why I'm taking it. It is fragile, but it's very effective. If you wanted some more anti-tank capability, which I think I'm going to go ahead and swap this out. I'm going to take 7 of the Salamandras. The Salamandras have more strength, which is one reason for taking them. But they also carry the Kokon M, which is better than any of the anti-tank capabilities that we have thus far in the deck. So yeah, I'm going to swap that out. And then we have the BRDM-2. BRDM-2 is a scatter, cheap recon unit. Just scatter this anywhere you need something. You want to watch the flanks, put a BRDM-2 there. You want to have a tripwire, put a BRDM-2 there. And that's why I'm taking 14 of them, is just so you have a number of them that you could deploy. Wanted to talk about this Fatava here for a sec. It's okay. It's basically the same thing as the BRM-1, but worse, because it carries an ATGM, and that, in my opinion, makes it much worse. Some people might think that makes it better, but it really doesn't. That just makes it more likely for this recon unit to get spotted, and it's still a crappy ATGM. So I'm taking the BRM-1 so it doesn't get spotted, in the first place, which is really why I'm taking it. Anyways, that covers that. Vehicle-wise, we have, first off, we have the Napalm Tank. TO-55, very effective in town fighting. You can use it to denying area to the enemy, which is great. It's always important to have that capability if you can get it. Then I have a lot of ATGMs. I have the Concourse here, just the standard Concourse missile, for just kind of keep away, hey, I'm firing missiles at you, you might want to keep away kind of mission. Concourse M for, I see you, and I've got a 50% chance to hit you, you might want to back off. And then I have the Pram here. Now, the Pram is interesting. It's not quite the CEV or AVRE that the United States or UK get, but it's not a Concourse, it's not a BRDM-2 either. It's everything. It's got a main gun, which with pretty low accuracy, but it's better than like the US, than the CEV or AVRE. Same range though, but it does less high explosive damage. Has an ATGM, which is a Concourse, which isn't bad, but yeah, it has that. And then you have the, this medium machine gun mounted on top. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of everything. And, I mean, it's everything. Next we have the DHS Mi-24P. And this gives us a twin autocannon mounted on the side right here, so it'll have to do some acrobatics in order to hit the target. DHS, a funny joke that I've seen with this helicopter is making it the Department of Homeland Security, because it has everything that you want on it, because it has the autocannon so you can go after enemy infantry and stuff. It has the these Molnia air-to-air missiles so it can go after aircraft and helicopters, and it has an anti-tank guided missile so it can go after tanks too. So yeah, that's the DHS. I really like it. It's kind of a Super Cobra, but it's kind of not, because it doesn't have that awesome 2,800 meter range that the other gets. Sokol is just another anti-aircraft helicopter, and on this map, that can be very useful. We have a twin autocannon on it, so it can suppress enemy units. You can bring one of these alongside, say, a vehicle, strafe it along the sides, and you'll do a lot of damage to it, if not killing it because of its high rate of fire. It has a rocket pod, so you can stun the infantry once you kill it. Once you kill the vehicle, or if he tries to disembark the enemy infantry. So yeah, and then you've got an Igla, which is very effective at killing off enemy helicopters. I mean, this will kill off basically any helicopter. It has better range than the DAPS, so you can kill DAPS with it. It has, you can kill Apaches, you can kill, basically anything that doesn't have a range greater than yours or equal to yours, and most units don't have that. they're at least Blue 4 units don't have that. Only Blue 4 units with a better range than you are going to be the Ninja, which has the same range but better accuracy. The Celtic and one of the Tiger variants, the Tiger variant that has the Mistrals, you won't be able to outrange those. And I think the only other one is actually the Super Cobra with 2,800 meter range. So yeah, I mean, the Sokol, but it will outrange basically any just Stinger platform that it has. So, you know, basically you shoot down the helicopter with that. If the infantry doesn't die, or they've already landed, you can engage with the rocket pods and autocannon, and it will tear them apart. And then, I mean, this unit is ugly. It's terribly ugly, but it's also extremely effective at killing infantry. It's the MI4. It may seem really strange, but it carries I like these, because I have a bunch of rocket pods at my disposal. You know, you have extreme accuracy, good range, 2 HE power, which is awesome, and has a high rate of fire and good suppression. So you can really turn the tide of an infantry battle if you bring up an MI4 and it manages to get a couple shots on the enemy infantry. You panic them, you stun them, you know, and probably kill them because it has that high explosive power. And then moving on to aircraft for air superiority fighters, we have the MiG-29. I like the camo pattern on this. I mean, I know I think I've seen them with like you know, like a woodland camo, but I like this camo pattern. I think they're pretty cool looking. Yeah, they've got the 2 fire and forget missiles for long range, and they carry 4 shorter range, and I say short range, but you know, they're the shorter range version. So yeah, they're very effective at killing off the enemy's very effective at killing off infantry. Yeah, right. No, they're very effective at killing off the enemy's aircraft. And so bringing out a group of 2 of these will usually be enough to kill off enemy aircraft. Bombers. We have 1 bomber, and that's the MiG-29 912A. And it carries thermobaric bombs. And now you might be wondering how I know that, but it's because it's a high explosive bomb with napalm. It basically will explode and then deploy a bunch of napalm everywhere, which is enough to usually kill a lot of infantry. You can usually kill a couple squads of infantry or kill them with the napalm later. So yeah, these are very effective. They carry 2 more of those short-range air-to-air missiles, but I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you have to go after helicopters or something. But there's not really a purpose, you know, for this. They won't engage aircraft well. They just won't. And then they have, of course, an autocannon for going after aircraft and stuff. We have a tank sniper. We have the Su-22M4 Seria. Now, some of the other anti-tank options. Let's take a look here. Open that up in multi-role as well. You have the MiG-23, but that only has a 2975 meter range. This one has a 3150 meter range, but still, same. You know, it's still only 50% accuracy. You still only get 2 of them. You get 2 of these have okay range, but they carry 4 of them, but they're kind of slow. And so yeah, I mean, there's just really not a lot of options. I think are really good. This one isn't bad, but it's not. All of these are semi-active too, so you know you're not going to be able to just shoot at it and forget about it like with the Seria. So it's definitely the best anti-tank option that we have for dealing with super heavies, anyways. So anyways, that's the Seria. And then for seed, we have the SU. We only have 2 seed options in the deck. You either get the Su-22 MP4, M4P, or the Su-22 M4P. Anyways, you either get the Polish version or the East German version. And I like the East German version better because it has a greater ground range. And that just makes it a lot more effective at dealing with enemy AA. Because it can engage at a farther range, so it doesn't get killed off immediately, or it doesn't get like just shot. You know, it will outrange most of the enemy's anti-aircraft platforms, with the exception of being stuff like the Patriot. But you know, it's not the norm. So Su-22 M4P carries more missiles, carries 4, but they have that inferior range, so I don't take them for that reason. Anyways, that's my this deck anyways. Hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope this helps you out. I'll post the deck code in the description below. Please like and subscribe for more content. This is RC0538, wishing you a good day, and I'm signing off.